Pete Feenston for Get Ready to Rock, talking to Glenn Hughes. Great to have you here, Glenn.
Nice to see you again.
Going to talk about your brand new band, California
Yeah.
Breed. This was put together quite quickly.
Yeah, you know, when Black Country broke up, Jason and I decided we would continue in a new thing rather than do Black Country 2 with another named guitar player. I think we bravely and successfully did the right thing, moving on with someone new and exciting like Andrew, and it's a good time.
So most people know you and they know Jason Bomber, of course, but tell everybody about Andrew Watt, the new guitar player. He's very young.
I met Andrew through my friend Julian Lennon the day before the Grammys in 2013, February the 11th, Saturday night, about 10 o'clock.
Barely a year ago.
And Julian said to somebody, I was at Julian's party and said to somebody here, I want you to meet, and introduced me to Andrew, and Andrew spoke in the musicality of the terms that I like, and he spoke about his love for the art form of writing music, and who inspired him, and how he likes to record, and it kind of was refreshing for me because, you know, I meet a lot of new musicians who give me their work and to listen to, and I try to be of service if I can help them. But Andrew spoke to me in a really interesting way, and I asked him to send me some music, and he did. After the Grammys, I was in Minneapolis with my wife, and he said, I opened my inbox and there was 3 songs from Andrew. And
wow!
It was very, very good writing, very good guitar playing, and a really good voice. So I thought, maybe there's something here.
So a new shot of energy.
A big shot of energy, because Jason and I knew we were going to do something, but we weren't sure of who it was going to be with, and I guess I was the first guy to find someone, if you will, through my friend Julian.
So, and there was some talk about Julian being on this album at one point.
He is on the album.
Oh, he is?
He's on the last track, Breathe.
Which is one of the best tracks on it, actually, I think.
Well, thanks. When I wrote the song, the part in the song that Julian sang, funny enough, was thinking, this would be great for Julian to sing,
and he was up for it.
When I asked Julian to sing it, I sent him the file, and 17 hours, he was in Monaco, and when he sent it back 17 hours later, it was done.
Actually, that song kind of evokes the title almost. Breathe, it's this kind of expansive piece of music.
Yeah, it's about walking through the fear, you know, one more time, walking through the fear and being brave enough to stand on your own, and with a brand new flag.
And that's pretty much summarises the album, really, as a concept.
I hope so. I mean, the art form that has been freely given to me is to be a musician. When I was younger, you know, I never really got into music to do anything but to be a musician, you know, and to grow spiritually. But when you're young, you know, spiritual things really don't come into it. But looking back over my life, I realized that I was given a gift, freely given to me.
But your songwriting is the thing that really impresses me, and you've certainly become prolific in the last few years, haven't you? I mean, was that a big shock for you when BCC suddenly stopped, and then you've got to move on from it?
When I sat with you 18 months ago?
I think so, yeah.
You know, I was unsure if Black Country would survive, and then, you know, when I was told that Black Country would not be touring, I was sad for a few days, and then I went home to LA and went on a trip with my wife, and then we came home and I started to think about, do I want to be a solo artist again, or do I want to build a new brand? Then I said, a record company wanted to sign me. I said, well, would you be interested in me forming a new band? And they said, yep. And I said, then so be it.
And your career has moved back to rock, of course, from funk. I mean, you were not stuck in, but you were exploring funk a few years ago.
I think every artist that I admire has swum in different paths and done different things in life, you know, whether it's blues or...
And you've always dipped your toes into that, of course.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I did like and still love American music, and but when I formed Black Country, I definitively put my rock hat back on. And I wasn't going to take it off again. I wasn't really going to steer into a new territory again and go back to doing something that would be a little bit wrong.
Yeah, is California Breed a kind of as much a vibe as it is a band name and album name and concept?
You know, for me, the name of the band is significantly real because a band's name is uniquely important to, and the graphic design and the logo and the texture and the smell and the feel.
It's all organic.
It's very important for me. It's a very colourful name and for a very colourful young band.
Going back to BCC, the 2 tracks on the last album, Afterglow, The Giver and Crawl, were very Led Zeppelin influenced. Is that something you sought to bring into the new project now?
No.
Or is that just
you know, although I am, you know, the singer for Black Country and California Breed, and Jason is the drummer, there's nothing, you know, that I wrote on California Breed for Black Country. It's a brand new vehicle, you know. So
did you have a vision of what this album was going to be before you started, or did it grow exponentially as you recorded it?
Well, you know, the first songs were written pretty quickly. I wrote Breathe and Sweet Tea and Days That Come kind of quick, and you know, then I played them to the guys, and then we got together in LA and we changed them around. This band is a collaborative effort, whereas Black Country,
in terms of songwriting,
I was writing a lot of stuff alone.
And this being a 3-generational band, how has that impacted on your songwriting and music?
It really hasn't changed. I still get to do what I do, and it's just like I said, I'm like the singer of Black Country and California Breed, so it's my voice, and it's a style of music that is definitively rock.
And you always search for drama. That we all know that. I mean, is it important that you have the right guys for you to achieve that when you put in your performance?
Uniquely so, because Jason and I have known each other since he was 2 years old, and we decided after Black Country that we would stay together and form a new. Like I said, we particularly didn't want to do Black Country 2.
No. No, this is different. This is markedly different.
And you know, I really couldn't answer a lot of fans' questions because, you know, we were moving on with a new band, and that's why it was kind of secret last year. So now that the band is now here and with a new kid, you know, Andrew's a pretty unknown guy, but I think we were brave enough to bring him in. As David Coverdale was brand new in Deep Purple,
as he was,
you know, he kind of went in there.
And tell me about Richard Cobb, the producer, because the feature, people might haven't heard the album yet, is a big sound and a big wall of sound. And one of the features I noticed about the record is the way that your voice blends into that wall of sound. Was that what you set out to achieve?
Dave Cobb is...
Dave Cobb, I'm so sorry.
Dave Cobb, for me, at this very moment, knowing what Dave has been doing the last 4 or 5 years with artists that we know, living in Nashville and having a great studio, and I knew that Jason and I knew that we wanted to make a record in either Austin or Nashville, kind of the music capitals right now in America.
Yeah, that happened.
And Dave Cobb, you know, I really started to really dig what he was doing.
Did you know him before you worked with him?
No.
Okay.
But you know, I knew of his work, and it was important for me and Jason to agree on who would become the producer of this album. And I said to Dave Cobb, "Do you have any fear?" He said, "Nope."
Fear of what?
Fear of producing this band, and fear of showing yourself and being in the right vehicle for both you and I, and Jason and Andrew. And Dave Cobb was very fearless, and fear is a big thing for me.
And at what point did you realise it was working, when you were recording? Well, or was it when you were actually rehearsing? I mean, working with him in particular.
We didn't rehearse. We went to his place. We had all the songs ready to go. He asked me to, he said, "How do you feel about Jason and Andrew recording their parts and then you singing and then overdubbing the bass?" And I said, "I can do that, you know." And then, you know, later on I said, "Well, I'm going to overdub the bass." And then he said, okay. I said, "Okay, then I'm going to sing." He said, "No, you don't have to sing because you already sang." So he kept the vocals, he kept So it's the first time ever I've ever sang an album completely and utterly 100% live. So
and it's your in the moment vocals, the spontaneity of it all that makes this album so exciting. I mean, do you have to vibe yourself up for that, or are you inspired by the songs?
I was inspired by what Jason and Andrew were playing.
Right.
And
the band.
Like I said before, it's the first time I've ever done an album where it's completely live vocally. So
yeah.
It's people hear it, you know, that hopefully. And Jason's drumming was the best he's ever played. And Andrew really stepped up to the mark. You know, great right hand he has. He's such an amazing songwriter. So.
And given the fact that the songs are collaborative, how did all that work in terms of structure?
It wasn't a problem because I would come up with a few songs and then I would send them to Andrew, then he would send me some songs, and then Jason would come in to LA, or we would go to his home in Florida, and we would play, and we didn't call it rehearsing, we would play it, you know.
Yeah.
And we wrote, you know, I don't know, 30 songs, then we finished.
30 songs?
About 25, 30.
Wow. You're going to use them all in the fullness of time?
I don't think so. I think we're going to keep moving.
Just happy with what you got involved. Yeah. Let me ask you specifically about some of the songs. Sweet Tea, was that built around Andrew's riffs? Some big riffs.
No, I wrote the music on that song, it's the only song I wrote on the album where I actually was singing Mama's Little Sweet Tea. I mean, for some reason the words and the music came together.
Oh, okay. Well,
you know, it's not very often I wrote a song, you know, with a title. So what I did, Andrew asked me if he could actually finish the song lyrically for me. I said, feel free. And that's something that I really enjoy about this band, because we can actually finish each of our own work.
Yeah, well, that means you're locking in.
It's a collaborative band. It's a thing that every band has to be collaborative. We have to be a unit, you know.
And Chemical Rain, I think, is the first single. Is that right?
That's the first song.
Was that the first song? Yeah. Was that the first song?
That's the first song that Andrew and I wrote together.
Was it a template for the album as a whole?
It was.
Yeah.
It
sounds that way.
He came to my home before Jason was involved. He came to my home and we wrote Chemical Rain in my studio. And I knew that when we had finished that song, lyrically and melody-wise, and I just knew that there's a good chance that this could be the start of something really special. And there's some,
it's a very heavy album at times, but there's also some lovely melodies. All Falls Down comes to mind.
Thank you.
Did that stand out as a track to you, All Falls Down? And who's the woman singing on that with you? That's
the girls. It's in Midnight Oil. The girls are Midnight Oil. But All Falls Down, that's me.
It's such a big production, you think there's so much going on there.
You know, the song is wrote about, I was inclined to go back and tell you the story of one of those moments in my life where I thought I was going to die, really going to die. And I remember, you know, my friends standing around my bed, you know, and it's written in the song. And I thank my wife for, you know, couldn't love you any other way. It all falls down.
Which is in the song, yeah.
And my wife is possibly the greatest person I've ever met.
Wow. On there, there's a climatic guitar solo right at the end of Scars there.
Yeah.
But it fades too quickly almost. It's a shame.
Well, the song actually was going on really long. So we decided, it's the only song we decided to fade out a little quick, because the song was really too long for the album.
All right. And you hit an incredible note on the end of Strong, which kind of perfectly tail ends the song.
And remember now, that was, I didn't know I was recording that, and that note, I don't know, it could have been like 40 seconds long, and we had to put the note off at the end. So I don't know, it's like
it almost sails into the fade. It's fantastic. You know?
Yeah, it's like I said, it's one of those moments in my life that I'll never forget. It's really grateful to be given the chance to sing live. It's the only way from now on.
Would you have, in all honesty, Glenn, would you have cut an album like this without the American continuing fascination with Led Zeppelin?
No.
Thinking in terms of a market for classic rock.
We how do I say this to you? Jason is a Bonham.
Of course, yeah.
Our producer Dave Cobb had Jason play as much drums as possible, kind of in a Bonham Keith Moon way.
Right.
And Andrew is a big Jimmy kind of fan, you know.
Yeah.
And
so it's that era, isn't it?
I think, you know, we didn't set out to sound like anybody on this album. We sort of had our own parallels to work on, so it's not like we were influenced by any music. We just made an honest album of.
And a very organic album at that.
It's very live.
So, and talking about live and finishing off on this, how much of it are you likely to play live if you tour?
As much as possible. We are going to do a tour. The tour is being booked this month to go on sale soon, and it'll be happening in late September, October. California
Breed is the name of the album. California Breed is the band, and it's on Frontiers Records.
Correct.
And what's the release date? Do you know?
Monday, May 19th.
Monday, May 19th. There's already a video up there, right?
Sweet Tea is there. So Midnight Oil is coming any minute.
This has been Pete Feenstra talking to Glenn Hughes. It's been an absolute pleasure. MHP on the camera and video. Thank you and good morning.